Lafayette's best country 95.7. Good afternoon. It's B. Adams. Week 2 of Y95 Live. I felt like last week went really well. Shout out again to my man Levi Riggs for popping by, and we had so much fun. And joining me this week is somebody else that's familiar to the area, Grace Scott. Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for having us.
It's so good for you to be here with us today from Grace Scott from the Grace Scott Band. You got your friend Steve with you today.
Yes.
Steve, how long have you been with Grace?
We've been together from the start, about 8 years now.
8 years. And how many people are in the band?
Well, we like to play like a 5-man show typically, but it varies from week to week. Some weeks we'll have keys, some weeks we'll have steel, sometimes fiddle.
I love a good steel. I feel like steel should be in every country, like not necessarily every song, but like you said, in the set somewhere.
Absolutely.
Every once in a while, you got to have some steel guitar, right?
Oh,
Yeah. It's just magic.
Who did I just see? Rodney Adkins just played at the Neon Cactus like back in February or something, and he's got an amazing steel guitar player. It was awesome. I really enjoyed it. Well, for those listening that might not know Grace Scott from the Grace Scott Band, we're going to get to know her a little bit here over the next 30 minutes or so. I've had you on with me here in Lafayette before on the Tailgate Show before Purdue football games. That's on our sister station, Wazy. So if her name sounds familiar, maybe that's why, because you play Boilermaker Crossing a lot, but you are a Purdue grad, correct?
Yes. Boiler up. And we're coming back to Boilermaker Crossing for the Oregon-Purdue game. So we're super excited for that.
That's going to be a good one. And that's a late one, right?
Yes. So we'll play kind of in the afternoon, wrap up by like 6:45, and then I think the game starts at 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock tip, or kick. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. 8 o'clock kick. Well, that's fun. I didn't realize that I guess that would make sense if they're already filling out the schedule. I just hadn't seen anything yet. So you are coming back this year.
Yes.
Boilermaker Crossing is so much fun. Let's just give that a shout out real quick. If you're ever coming down to a Purdue football game, stop by Boilermaker Crossing because they have live music. They've got bounce houses, all different things like that.
And Purdue men's basketball team usually hangs out there too.
I was going to say, no telling who you're going to see. Like I've seen Gene Katie walk by. I've seen a lot of the men's basketball team, the women's basketball team. I've seen some of them stop and watch your guys, part of your guys' set before too. So yeah, get down to Boilermaker Crossing before the home football games. As we mentioned, you are a Purdue grad. Where are you originally from?
I was born in Charleston, South Carolina, and I lived in the South till I was 8. And then I grew up in Franklin, Indiana, which is where our connection came from. I know there's a lot of Franklin people happy that we're hanging out together today.
And a lot of people listening, by the way. When we posted that first one, I got a ton of people that commented because we used to do something similar down there, and they miss it. So they were tuned in. They're probably listening now. So
it's exciting. We are actually headed back to Johnson County, to the Johnson County Fair this summer to do a grandstand show there. So we're super excited.
Do you know the date off top?
July 18th, I believe.
All right. I'm going to have to remember that. Maybe that's a good day that I can come down and check it. We always try to get back down there for the fair at least once. Now you're up in Logansport,
Cass County proud.
And are you a teacher?
I am. Logansport Berries.
What do you teach?
Well, I am in the middle of a little bit of a transition as a teacher. I have been teaching for almost 20 years now, which is crazy. And so next year I'm taking a big jump. I'm going to work at a place called the Academy that's part of our school corporation. And it's a kind of a second chance school for kids that
I love that.
Traditional high school has not worked for them. And it's a different way for them to get a diploma. So a lot of them will maybe work all night and then come to school in the afternoon. And I'm really excited to offer that opportunity to the group that's coming there.
I know, believe it or not, Grace, I got in trouble a lot in school, so I know that's hard to believe.
It is.
But I got in a lot of trouble in high school, mainly for talking. Go figure. I end up being a radio show host. But I love that because like I would get sent down to like detention or in-school suspension or whatever. And I never got in trouble for anything like crazy. But whenever I hear about things like that, I still love it because I never really had that option. I just got in trouble. I didn't really have anywhere else I could go.
Yeah. I have always been a big believer in second chances. And a lot of kids just do not have a support system at home. And I know the school can become that place for them. And I want to help. We're kind of creating a school from the ground up. And it's an exciting time to be in education and kind of reinvent what it looks like for these kids.
I think that's really cool. Talking with Grace Scott from the Grace Scott Band, gracescottband.com if you want to check out her website. You can also just search Grace Scott Band on social media. I know her website has all her upcoming shows where you can see them perform. And we're going to talk about the Josie Awards 2 coming up here in just a few minutes. I want to make sure we touch on that. Don't let me forget, because I think that's huge. And I was just telling somebody about the Josie Awards recently and trying to explain to them what it is and how cool it is. So we're definitely going to touch on that. You're also going to sing a couple songs for us today, correct?
We're so excited to share some original music with y'all.
All right. Well, keep it right here on Y95 Live. We're going to chat more with Grace Scott coming up in just a few minutes. We're going to hear some music. My man Steve's over there, got his guitar ready. We're ready to go. We'll be back with more right here on Y95 Live. Back on Y95 Live, week 2 of Y95 Live, and really loving this live music segment that we're doing. Grace Scott is our guest today from the Grace Scott Band. She's got her man Steve with her from the band. I know your husband's probably listening. Anybody we need to shout out? Anybody? Both of you.
Hey, I'm going to say happy 13th birthday to my son, Keaton, because he turns 13 this week.
I love it. Happy birthday, Keaton. Anybody else? What about you?
Well, Mom will probably listen, maybe the kids. Shout out to them.
Well, we appreciate them listening and everybody that's tuned in right now. We're here to hear some live music. If you've never heard Grace Scott, you're in for a treat. She's got a beautiful voice, and your voice has taken you to a lot of places. You've played a lot of shows. You've opened for a lot of big national acts. You've won awards. I know you're up for some more. We're going to talk about it coming up. And I didn't even know, we talked about off air that you tried out for American Idol. We're going to talk about that too.
Okay.
so don't let me forget. That's 2 things I'm tasking you with here. But right now we want to hear some live music. What are we going to hear today first?
So the first song is going to be released this summer very soon. It's called Country Girl. It's a song that Steve wrote, and it's really about just my life, all the different hats I wear as an artist, as a farm wife, as a mom, and just living that good country life.
I love it. All right, well, let's hear it. I was going to talk more, but I want to hear some music. It's Grace Scott from the Grace Scott Band on Y95 Live.
I can herd cattle 9 months pregnant on a 4-wheel ATV. Ride a horse bareback in the field in my 2 bare feet. Fry some chicken up for dinner. Take the kids down by the river. I may like the finer things like rhinestone bling bling, diamond earrings, shabby chic things, a shot of stiff drinks. I can be fancy in my red dress and my pearls, but I'll still always be a country girl. Saturday night, I can be found with my husband and my friends, all dolled up with my hair looking like a teen. Get up for church on Sunday, teach school again on Monday. I thank God for all I'm giving. I wouldn't trade this life for nothing. I may like the finer things like rhinestone bling bling, diamond earrings, shabby chic things, a shot of stiff drinks. I can be fancy in my red dress and my pearls, but I'll still always be a country girl. Some days when the temperature's rising, we head down to the river bank. I lay back, I put on my Ray-Bans, and we're floating along till the sun goes down. I may like the finer things like rhinestone bling bling, diamond earrings, shabby chic things, a shot of stiff drinks. I can be fancy in my red dress and my pearls, but I'll still always be a country girl, country girl, country girl. I'm just a country girl.
Yeah, buddy. Country girl Grace Scott singing for us live on Y95 Live. I loved it.
Thank you.
So that hasn't been released yet.
Not yet. It's getting close.
Will be soon. Where can people find it when it's released?
Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Pandora.
Send
anywhere.
it to me. You might hear it on Y95.
Awesome. That would be amazing.
I love the song. And if you know Grace, I've known her for several years now. And that song, I mean, it's true. In a day and age when so many people have so much to say about what's real country and what's not and who's living the life and who's not, I can assure you, I don't think it matters. Good music is good music, but Grace is living the life. I see all the time on Facebook, your kids are always around all the animals, right? 4-H?
Yes. So we have 4 4-H calves and 4 4-H pigs this year. My husband and his brother run a huge cow-calf operation. So it's 24/7 lifestyle for us, for sure.
I love that. Do you guys just show them, or what all goes into that? Do you take them to the fairs and try to win, and or is there more to it than just that?
Well, yes, in a nutshell. But yes, the kids do show them. We usually go to Beef Congress every year in Indianapolis and the Indiana State Fair and our county fair. And if we can get out to some open shows, we do that as well in between the sports schedule. But yeah, I mean, it takes walking the animals every day, washing them. They get kind of spa treatments where their hair's blown out and they get oils rubbed in their skin.
Sounds like they get, more spoiled than I do, or a lot of people listening right now are like, man, I need to be one of those animals.
I spent $80 on cattle hair dye this week.
Oh my goodness.
It's not for the faint of heart, but it's so much fun.
I guess not. Well, that's a beautiful song. I love it. And be on the lookout for it because it'll be released soon, I'm guessing. Again, GraceScottBand.com is the website. If you liked what you heard, she's got a full list of shows coming up here. All the way through, looks like it's through August right now, and I'm sure that'll continuously be updated. So if you're looking for a fun show to go to, hear good live music, check out her website and go find her somewhere. It looks like you got the Strawberry Festival coming up. That's in Crawfordsville. A lot of people
just down the
listening
road.
In Crawfordsville. You got shows in Monticello, Noblesville, Fort Wayne. So you're kind of hitting everywhere in Indiana.
Absolutely.
What's the farthest you've played?
Well, we have played in Georgia together. Steve and I played a show down there in Woodstock, Georgia, which was pretty cool. And I was going to say we've also got some shows coming up in August in Ohio and Michigan. So we're starting to
very nice
branch out a bit in the Midwest.
Very nice. Much deserved. We're going to hear more from Grace Scott from the Grace Scott Band coming up here in just a few minutes. We're going to talk her American Idol experience. We're going to talk the Josie Music Awards. And we're going to hear one more song from them as well. So keep it right here on Y95 Live. Back on Y95 Live, it's Lafayette's Best Country 95.7. We're getting some interviews each and every Friday from noon to 12:30. Not just interviews, but live music as well. That's where the live part of Y95 Live comes in. We just heard from Grace Scott. What was the name of that song again?
Country Girl.
Country Girl. Great song. I'm really looking forward to that coming out. And let's talk a little bit. We already kind of learned about you as a person, where you grew up, who you are. Let's talk about your musical journey now, because I've known you for a while and I never knew that you went out for American Idol. Tell us about that.
So I did. I grew up singing. I started singing church when I was 2 years old, and then and I was singing quite a bit all through high school. And then I took my time at Purdue and was just really leaning into my education. But that's about the time I met my husband as well, and he started really encouraging me to get back into singing. And so we made the trip down to Atlanta, and it was the second season of American Idol, I believe, because Fantasia Barrino was the winner that year. And so it was like 12,000 people in the big stadium there in Atlanta. And
that was back when there was only so many places you could go to audition. Now it's like they make stops all over the country, and they even do a lot of it virtual. Yeah. So you actually went down to Atlanta.
Yes. Yeah. It is
12,000 people. So tell us about the process.
Yeah. So I think we had to spend the night there, like on the floor and, and wrapped around the stadium. And then they got us up at like 3:00 in the morning, and then you had to get ready like in the bathroom there at the stadium. And then they just started winnowing people down. You'd go down. They had judges on all the hash marks on the football field. And
yeah.
if you went to the right, you were rejected, and you went to the left, you made it. And all day long, it was just like massive numbers.
You know
of
what's crazy,
exiting.
though? There is so much talent that gets rejected. Or even if they get on the show, they don't make it far.
Yes.
And that blows my mind because that really speaks to the level of how many talented people there are. Like, there's some people, like, I don't know how far you went or if you made it at all, but like hearing you sing, and not just you, so many other people that I know have gone out for it. And I'm like, how did you not get on the show?
Right.
It's insane. But like you said, 12,000 people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's tough to get through. I mean, you got to beat out. They only keep, what, 50 maybe?
Yes.
50 people or something like that?
And I was lucky enough to make it into that group. Didn't make it past that next round because they sent through some folks that were really catastrophically not good, and then the really, really talented people.
That's what sucks, though. I think they've taken some of that out of the show now.
Yes.
But back then, for entertainment purposes, like William Hung.
Yes.
And then, man, there were so many of those people back in the day on American Idol that clearly were just there to make people laugh and add entertainment, a different type of entertainment value to the show. But that's taken away from the people that have true talent.
Oh,
right?
You're so kind.
But it's true, though, isn't it?
Well, the fun thing about, I guess, my American Idol journey is I did get to meet Jennifer Hudson. We were in the same cohort that got pushed through together, and she was already just a massive star. She had a makeup artist there with her that was like prepping her before she went in. I remember feeling just like a little country kid, but flash forward many years later, I was sitting at home one morning with my son, who's a newborn at the time, watching E! News, and they were telling Jennifer Hudson's story, and a picture popped up on the screen, and it was literally our group at American
Idol. Awesome!
Like,
you were like looking for yourself.
Mom's on TV right now. It was the most surreal experience because I'm in the sleepless nights of motherhood with a little bitty baby, and I was like, that's pretty darn cool.
That is really cool. Let's see who the judges back then. It was the originals. So Simon, Randy Jackson, and Paula. Yeah, man, that's wild.
And there was the man who's also a judge or was a judge on So You Think You Can Dance, Nigel. He was actually an executive producer of the show, and that's who auditioned all of us in that second round there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always intrigued me. And then think of all the people that got on to not just American Idol, but like The Voice that they turned down or they said, you're not good enough. Like Morgan Wallen.
Yeah.
He made it through on The Voice originally, but at one point he was kicked off. Like, you're not good enough, go home. And then look at him.
Massive stars.
It's insane. Well, that's really cool that you got to experience that. Do you still watch American Idol?
You know what? Through like Facebook or Instagram Reels, like I follow along, and I know, was it Loretta Lynn's granddaughter went really far this season?
That was so cool. Yeah,
so many talented young people.
Well, that's what I was getting ready to say too. I'm glad you mentioned that because I was going to bring up the fact that I feel like back in the day, probably when you auditioned, it was a lot of people that they sang maybe in church or whatever, but now you get people that already have a following. You go to their Instagram and they already have 50,000 followers and they've been gigging all around and they've got EPs out. And whereas before I feel like it was just people just showing up and singing.
Yes.
So I don't know. Maybe that's not fair but then it makes it better for the people that don't have that and then they make it, because they're competing against people that's been doing it a while. All right, talking with Grace Scott from the Grace Scott Band. I can get carried away talking about American Idol because I love the show. But let's move on and talk about the Josie Music Awards because this is something that a lot of people aren't familiar with. I'm familiar with it just because I've been doing live music segments like this for a while now, and many of my guests have been a part of the Josie Music Awards, including you. So tell people kind of what that is, and also what are you nominated for this year?
Well, thanks so much for celebrating with us. We really appreciate it. The Josie Awards are getting ready to celebrate their 10th anniversary, and they were started to really celebrate and honor independent artists that do not have a record label and just to recognize them for their talents. And I really think Steve was the one that first kind of came across it and was like checking out the organization and telling me about it and, kind of pushed me towards, hey, we should apply. We should put ourselves out there because, you work really, really hard on writing songs and then, put your blood, sweat, and tears into recording and paying for those recordings. And so if there's ever like a platform that allows you to share that original music a little bit more, we're going to embrace and run with that opportunity. So last year we were lucky enough to win Traditional Country Song of the Year for Flowers.
Congrats.
Thank you. When I tell you, it was just the most surreal, out-of-body experience to be in the Grand Ole Opry, to get to walk on that stage, to hear your song played. And
I was getting ready to say, even if you don't win an award, it's at the Grand Ole Opry. I mean, you get to go to the mother house
Yes.
of country music. And, just being there in itself is amazing enough. But if you hear your song, being played there, and then if you're lucky enough to win one of the awards, how cool is that?
we got to step into the circle and accept the award and give a little speech, which I'll be honest, I was hyperventilating a little bit. I was definitely tearing up. And my husband was like, "Are you going to be able to talk? Because I don't think I can talk," because we co-wrote that song together, and he was just like, "I'm not in a place to be able to do this."
Yeah.
But it was a really, really amazing experience.
And everybody knows mainstream music, right? Everybody knows the Morgan Wallens, the Lainey Wilsons, the Hardys, the Dierks Bentleys, the whoever. But that's one thing I love about the Josie Music Awards is I love finding up-and-coming artists, independent artists, because there's so much good music out there that people don't get exposed to, and that's another reason why I like doing things like Y95 Live. And I think it's cool that they actually created something, the Josie Music Awards, for it, and it gets to be at the Grand Ole Opry House. So tell us real quick, we're gonna have you sing one more song, but quickly tell us, what are you nominated for this year?
So this year, we're nominated for a song that Steve and I wrote together. It's called Float Trip, and so that's nominated for Music Video of the Year, and then Modern Country Female Vocalist of the Year.
Oh, that's a big one, right? That's got to be
Such
one
a
of the
shot.
bigger ones.
Yeah, it means so much.
Well,
for
we
sure.
will be pulling for you. Hopefully you can bring some of that hardware back here to good old Indiana, and I know it's much deserved. We're chatting with Grace Scott from the Grace Scott Band. If you like what you hear, she's a good person. I think you can just tell that during just conversation. Obviously, she's a good singer if you heard her song a minute ago. GraceScottBand.com if you want to go check her out. She's going to stick around and sing one more song for us live coming up here in just a few minutes. It's Y95 Live. Lafayette's Best Country 95.7. It's B. Adams. This is Y95 Live, week 2 of Y95 Live. Grace Scott from the Grace Scott Band is with us this morning. She's got Steve with her, which, do you play just guitar in the band?
I'm actually the bass player.
Bass.
So, yeah. But I sing background vocals and write songs.
I feel like most musicians, though, play multiple instruments, right?
Yeah.
I was listening to a podcast just yesterday about a guy. He was at the Floribama down there, of course, on the Florida-Alabama line. It's one of the best places to play a live show. And he was down there, and whoever the artist was that was performing, their drummer got like really, really sick. And this guy was like, he's a guitar player in another band, but whoever was playing that night recognized him and was like, "Can you play drums?" And he's like, "I ain't played in a few years, but why not?" so he jumped up at the Floribama and played drums without rehearsing or anything. So musicians are talented. That's basically what I'm getting at.
Yeah, we got 3 music teachers in the band. So, I mean, those guys, they play everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like independently or at studios or like at school?
All of the above. Yeah.
Wow. That's really cool. Well, let's hear another song from you guys here before we let you go. What are we going to hear this time?
This song is called You Ruin Nashville, and it's for anybody that's been through a breakup or a heartache, and maybe a special place in that person's life has been ruined, because of that heartache or breakup. We wanted to kind of write a song where, people could definitely experience and know, like, everybody's been through those hard times in life. And then I think you'll hear, too, the song checkmarks a lot of iconic spots in Nashville, too. So I think you'll appreciate that, too.
I'll be listening for them. You guys listen for those Nashville benchmarks in there. It's Grace Scott from the Grace Scott Band on Y95 Live.
Broadway lights don't shine like they used to. It's hard to get those boots out of the box. The city I once couldn't wait to get to has my mind turned to knots. Honeymoon memories everywhere. Walk down and start to stare at every bar we ever danced in. George Strait's run on the radio. We sing along, dancing nice and slow in that rooftop moonlight. But now that song just makes me want to run. You ruined Nashville, no more Whiskey Jam or Bluebird ride arounds. Every honky-tonk and smoke-stained old dance floor, never go to Tootsie's, Nudies, or Robert's Western Wear. You ruined Nashville. Another night at home, feeling lonely, wondering if these feelings will subside. And everything I do brings up your memory, and every love song makes me cry. All the girls want to take me out, but the thought of seeing you around makes me want to run home and hide out on my couch. How long will it be like this? I always heard that love is bliss. Now I know it's just a fantasy, and I still feel like I am on the run. You ruined Nashville, Music Row will never write me another song. The opera circle feels broken and wrong. I'll never watch the Titans or Preds again. Never hang out with all my rowdy friends, 'cause you ruined Nashville. And I'm sure I'll get over you and paint the town with someone new. You ruined Nashville, no more Whiskey Jam or Bluebird ride arounds. Every honky-tonk and smoke-stained old dance floor, never go to Tootsie's, Nudies, or Robert's Western Wear. You ruined Nashville, Music Row will never write me another song. The opera circle feels broken and wrong. I'll never watch the Titans or Preds again. Never hang out with all my rowdy friends, 'cause you ruined Nashville. You ruined Nashville. Oh, you ruined Nashville. You ruined Nashville.
Yeah. I heard the references in there. Let's see. You had Tootsie's, Whiskey Jam, the Bluebird riding rounds. I even heard a Hank Jr. reference, All Your Rowdy Friends.
Yeah. He even got the sports fans in there because he got the Titans and Preds in there.
Yeah. I heard that too. Yep. Have you ever been to a Preds game?
I almost went on my last trip, but I ended up doing some other stuff. But like next time I go down, I'm definitely going if it's during the season.
Right. Yeah. I lived there for 2 years, and I still get down there quite often. And I've only been to one Preds game ever, but it was a lot of fun. That's another place where you never know who you're going to see, because they all go there. If they're in town, all the country artists, all the celebrities, they're always at Preds games. I love that. Another great song. You performed 2 good ones for us today. We appreciate that. Again, Grace Scott from the Grace Scott Band. Check out our website, gracescottband.com. You can see a complete tour. Her tour schedule's on there. Coming up, let's see, tonight or today. You guys are going to get out of here and get there. 1:30 to 3:30, the Strawberry Festival.
Absolutely. We can't wait. We love Crawfordsville. That Strawberry Festival is amazing.
I've never been. Maybe I should just follow you guys on over.
Sounds great.
Well, I appreciate you guys fitting some time and popping in here on your way there today. Let's see. Today's Friday. Tomorrow, the Country Girl Tour, Oakdale Dam Inn. Is that what you're calling it?
Yeah. So Country Girl should be coming out real soon here. Shout out to our lead guitarist, Mike. Mike Walter has a recording studio, and he's producing it. He has a metal background, but it's super cool what he's bringing that 90s country metal thing to life. If you can imagine, the whole recording process has been amazing with him. So, yeah,
That kind of reminds me, Clayton Anderson
Yeah.
from Bedford, Indiana. His drummer Nico
Yes.
is really big into like producing and all that stuff now, and he kind of has that kind of metal background as well. So it's interesting when you get people like that, and they have such an ear for good music, and it's like, how do you get that from like metal? Because
Right?
like metal's like the one thing I like don't listen to. Like I listen to everything but metal, but then you get these metalheads that produce all these like country records, pop records, and it's just like, how do they do it? But that's really cool. GraceScottBand.com. Again, go check out her list of shows coming up here. There's a lot of them. A lot of them are not far at all. So get to one of these shows. Go check her out if you like what you heard today. See the full band because they're all great. And Grace, appreciate you coming in. Get over to Crawfordsville and have fun at that Strawberry Festival.
Thank you so much. I can't say thank you enough for all the support you give to independent artists and just covering the country music scene from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you.
You're very welcome. It's truly my pleasure because you guys are all so talented and it's such great music. And hey, I guess I'll see you at Boilermaker Crossing coming up too.
Yes, boil them up.
Boiler up, baby.